problem that I'm having, quite frankly, on a kid in which you describe, you know, I'm about being hard-hitting, and I'm about truth. The problem that I'm having is that type of kid, when he gets in the school system, and in some cases the Catholic school system, okay, some cases the public school system, is when he's so far away from his core courses, core classes. You have kids who schedules are being made for them to pass so that they can play. I mean, there's one school in particular, and I certainly won't name this school, you know, that had so many children transfer out over the past few years, and they're transferring out with no credits. Why is the coach crying?
Well, I can only answer for what happens with myself at Cardozo. I mean, you know, there's a double-edged sword. I had a kid a couple of years ago that came from a Catholic school. There was a major problem at home, something like that was just discussed, and he wasn't eligible one year. And then the senior year, he was barely eligible, and we played him. It was his first time just to see an eligible report card, his self-esteem. Now, he's at a prep school right now. He's catching up for what he didn't do for 1 year at Cardozo and 2 years at the Catholic school, and he's going to get a Division I scholarship. Now, his uncle comes by the other day, and he starts saying, well, why'd you play him? He didn't have a great report card. I said, listen, he was playing at the Catholic school. The 1 year he didn't have it, and I said, you know what? If we didn't play him that 1 year, he wouldn't have had a good enough year to have me help him get to a prep school. I wouldn't have been able to get him to a prep school where now he's filling the hole that he dug for himself without that 1 year of at least, you know, showing coaches how good he could be. So sometimes you're not only helping a kid to get straight to Division I, you're just trying to fill the hole where that when he's done with you and uses up his eligibility, you can, with your contacts, place him somewhere where he could continue on that train to where he wants to go.
See, in some cases, Ron,
yeah.
But, you know,
oh, no.
as you gentlemen are recognizing and expressing, things are changing.
Oh, it's bad.
You know, junior college is now coming to the equation. You have kids going into junior college, kids who are 2008, everybody expecting them to graduate in 2008, that are all of a sudden in junior college. You understand? With no diploma.
You know
that's
what,
a problem.
You know what the thing though is? This is strictly a basketball problem. But what we talked about the last 5 minutes.
It's a culture problem.
It's not just a basketball problem. What about the kid that's a football player, baseball player, a soccer player, or not good enough? We, you know, for every kid that we have.
Unfortunately, in New York, we're not hearing about that.
I know, but we have a lot more non-basketball players.
New York's a basketball town first when it comes to sports. You know, that's what we are. And they're going to be more scrutinized than any other sports figure in the city. I mean, we know that.
It's amazing, you know what, Mike, that I don't think I had talked to a junior college coach in maybe about 12, 13 years.
And now you're talking to him.
Now I'm talking to him. All right, about 12, 13 years, and now with the new rules, I think 2 players this year out of our program went to junior college. I had never said that, but once I looked at the transcript or what have you, I said,
they had no other choice.
So are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You're not going to prep school. And they think they're going to prep school. These kids think they can just miss all year. So no, man. Here's the deal. Here's the junior college phone number. Call the coach up. He's waiting on your phone call. Go ahead.
So now they're going in junior college. I know of a situation, don't want to name names, where a kid reclassified, which I don't know why I don't understand that, twice.
But you know what, Mike?
Hold on. He reclassified twice. 2008, supposedly graduate, that's now in junior college.
Yeah. So then all of a sudden, guys are gonna have to go to JUCO or get better at going to classes. But one of the things that I don't know if we touched on enough, that is that we really need to educate these parents, okay? Because now these parents are really, you know, out of hand, and they need to understand just exactly what's going on with their kid and the future of this. And I think that maybe if we could help corral some of that, that could maybe help, you know, within what's going on here in the culture of basketball.
Can I like the JUCO route. You know, if a kid's not ready athletically or socially, because, you know, I went the JUCO route. You know, I went the prep school route, I went the JUCO route, and it's a totally different situation, especially when you got a kid 18, 19 still trying to go to prep school.
Right.
Now, if the NCAA would give a rule that you can play 2 years of JUCO and get 3 years of of Division I, that'd be great.
You see a lot more.
It'll be great. I mean, that's 5-year college, but what's wrong with extra year of college? That makes
Nothing
sense.
at all.
You know what I'm saying?
Especially for a kid that's probably
Well,
going to end up.
the average student takes 4.5 years
Exactly.
to graduate. How do they expect a basketball player that has to put all this time to graduate?
And I
before?
say it all the time. The
So
average
that's why.
student takes 4.5
In fact,
years to
I really
graduate
like. I
college.
have a lot of kids that I know have academic endeavors that play for me, and I kind of like hope when they get to D1 or D2 that the coach might redshirt them, and they say, "Coach, what are you talking about?" He goes, "First of all, one, you'd be more ready to play as a sophomore than to be a freshman.
get
But
your
you know what?
masters.
You're a bright kid.
get
You
your
go
masters.
4 years. You graduate. 1 year, you go for your master's.
your
Maybe
masters.
maybe you only have 30 out of the 36 credits, or 27 out of 30.
You're that much closer.
But that puts you way ahead in life.
Agree with mine.
But
You
the problem is a lot of AAU guys don't understand that. A lot of AAU guys never went to school. A lot of AAU guys are not
Glad
educated.
that you touched
A
on
lot
it.
of you guys want him to go to prep because now they have him for an extra year.
That too.
Exactly. But you're making a significant point. Clearly, you guys are educated guys. You know, I myself went to graduate school. Okay, and this is not to talk down on anyone, but education is very important. You know, and if you don't understand the process of education, you never put the time in to understand the importance of education.
Exactly.
How are you running the program?
Mike, that is a great statement. You know, I have this thing I tell my guys, you know, when they first get going, if you want to be rich, go sit down and listen to a rich person who's gotten there. You don't listen to that poor person who hasn't gotten. How the hell is he going to tell you how to get
And
there?
these guys are in running
And these guys
programs.
run
All,
programs.
and in New York is
absolutely correct. So one of the rules that we're trying to create within
it's
GBO
prevalent.
is certification. And as you know, the NCAA now has a rule in which, in order to coach in July, you have to be certified. You can't have
Criminal record.
criminal records, whatever. And we're saying, you know what? Now let's do that all year. Because
Right.
what's happening is you have a bunch of guys who are coaching these kids in April, May, and June, then back in August. Okay? But they don't coach them in July because they can't. Well, if we create this rule now saying, you have to be certified the whole year, now that eliminates, you know, some of these guys. And I hate to
well.
say,
How about educational rules?
Yeah.
How about that? You know,
Yeah.
Maybe that's something you should think about, Gary. It's not far fetched. It'll only help the kids that we service.
but that's the reason
Why
why
don't
we
you think
create.
about a minimum of an associate's
I think that's a
degree?
great idea, but that's the reason why we're creating a New York board to have a Ray Nash or a Donald Douglas
Because
who
you
are
can
part of the school so they can come up with those
articulate
ideas.
to a kid the college process. You don't understand college unless you went to college. You can only understand it from afar.
Right.
Anybody who's gone to college or lived on campus knows that you only have to live it to understand.
I hear you. I hear you.
You understand?
I understand.
You have
That's
to
right.
live it.
And I understand what you
and
mean.
this is
but-
not a knock
Right.
down on anyone that doesn't have an education. But if I'm putting my child in an AU program,
Your hands,
I
right.
don't want this guy talking about school if he doesn't understand it.
Totally agree with you.
He may steer my child somewhere where he doesn't need to go, or he has another agenda. It's easy to establish different agendas with no knowledge or education. It's very easy to get corrupted also.
Mike, I like that idea, and I wish you would
That's
have
a
showed up
great
to
idea.
one of the GBO board meetings. Okay,
There's
But see-
nothing
but
wrong
that-
with it. We
but that's-
can't lower our standards.
But see, that's the reason for why we're trying to have these board meetings, because that idea, you know what, that idea had not come up, and that's a great idea. I love that idea, and now I'm gonna
Well,
I'm
you
gonna
get
bring it up.
articulation. You get articulation through education.
Right.
You know, that's the thing. And again, this is not a knock on anyone that doesn't have it, but everything ain't for everybody.
Exactly.
Well, I've been
You know-
saying something a lot lately.
I like that idea.
I see dumb people. They're everywhere. They walk around like everyone else. They don't even know that they're dumb.
Exactly. I mean, if you can't, you know, there's people and a lot of basketball players that can't articulate their own mind. As unbelievable as that is, it's true. They can't articulate their future. All they know is that they want to go to the league.
What do you do
This
for
is
a
all
living?
they know. You know, but in order to have a goal, you need what? You need a plan.
Right.
You need a focus plan. So this is what I'm trying to get at. The culture is so unbalanced, and we have thousands of kids throughout the country that are involved in grassroots and high school basketball. We have them within our grasp. It's the culture. How do we change it? And we can. You have to start somewhere. That's how I started Team Next. You know, I felt that you have to start somewhere. And if I'm only able to help 10, it's better than 0.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's how I felt.
Right.
So if I'm helping 10, you're helping 10, you're helping, you know, when you look at it in its whole, it's massive. And it looks like something that can't be accomplished.
You know what's sad? We were talking about a kid before, and Gary, and we all know the kid. And I go to the kid this summer. I go, "What do you do for a living?" So the guy goes, because it's really asinine what the kid's doing. So he goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "Oh, you're a professional prep school basketball player."
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's like in his 28th year of prep school. You know, but what you said is good. And one of the things that I've been trying to do with my team is, if you have 10 kids, and I try to say, hey, for the next 2 months, we can get each kid can get 15% better. In 2 months, the team will be 150% better. So we can do that with the kids, but it's so hard. I mean, it really is so hard. But you know what? You're going to lose some, you're going to win some, and I like to think, you know, my way. I've done it, Cardozo. I tried my best. Every school is different, and you know, one school's a little different than another. One AAU program's different than another, and you know, unfortunately, I don't think there's enough guys that really take the time to do it well-rounded. And like I said earlier, with guys like me and Tiny,
we're accepting things, and this is. What
I know there are things I don't.
about.
There are things I don't accept at Cardozo.
Well, you know, people are falling, and we've. You know, to a large extent, we all have to plead guilty.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
But the problem is there's so many
you know,
programs.
You too, Ron. I mean, you
I
know, look,
there are so many programs that it's like, if a standard's here at one program at one school,
but you're turning,
and you're pushing them here, you really could push them here.
You tend to turn the eye,
Right.
and you can't.
Oh no, it's
when
not.
we see kids with people that we know they shouldn't be with, and these guys are bringing kids to us.
But I mean,
They're wanting things.
Yeah, but you know what? And I don't promote my program, you know, and I'm kind of modest when I come to that. But what I've done with the Juice program, outside the Lincoln program, everybody who works for me either was a part of Lincoln or was educated or did something positive. I don't have anybody negative around me. If they're young, they either still going to school. And if we do that all year round, because to be a high school coach in the public school system, you got to be a teacher. Or you got to have been teaching in the public system.
You have to get a degree in
if you do that all year round with the AAU programs, that will clean up some of the bad choices. Because
but you guys have to step up. You have to step up more, Tiny.
Yeah, maybe so.
More as a role model.
But maybe so. But
because you do a beautiful job that's not known. Gary does a beautiful job that's not known. I'm in the crunches too. There's myths that's not true about you guys.
Without a doubt. You know what?
There's things that's not true. You have to step up more.
You know what?
And be more vocal about what you think and what you say. People respect what you guys say.
I like what Tiny was just saying about the people, you know, around him. A long time ago, there was a guy who came over and wanted to be part of the program. He had his hoodies on. All right, I barely saw his eyes. His pants was down to here, and I said to him, "Look, you can't be part of this program. So why not?" I said, "Not the way you are. I can't have you be around players." And to this day, I think the guy hates my guts. But that was a decision that had to be made, and as he said, that's what you have to have. We have a guy now this year who's back within the program, and I said, "Look, you gotta go to school," and he's in school trying to get his degree, and that's what we have to do, because the people around you,
around the kids,
around these kids, you know, are going to determine exactly what's going to happen. It's not. We know that it's not. And we know it's not. We know it's not good. So there's been a bunch of guys who wanted to be a part of it. I'm telling you guys on the camera that I didn't put you down because of the way you carry yourself. I can't have you around these kids, you know, because at the end of the day, and here's the other thing, at the end of the day, if something goes wrong, it's Tiny's name you hear. It's Gary Charles' name you hear. It's Ron LeClair's name. You don't hear their name. It's us. It's our program. So when you mess up, okay, you mess up my name. You could take 15 years to build your program, and one day mess the whole thing up.
One day.
Okay?
You know, that's a good statement about you can't have people around you that unfortunately society's not going to give a thumbs up on. Just like I tell kids, if you're not eligible, you could be Michael Jordan. I can't play it. You have to have your grades. I mean, there have been 1 or 2 kids over the years at Cardozo that would have been good enough to make the team, good enough to start. There's one kid right now, but unfortunately, I can't play him. He has no grades.
Mike, there's just no easy answer. You know, like.
But we have to start somewhere.
But we have to start somewhere.
And we can't.
Exactly.
So I think one of the things that we came to the conclusion with here is that education needs to come along with coaching these kids.
You know, absolutely. Education.
You know, some type of. I mean, you need a an associate's degree to even think about taking a correctional officer exam.
Right,
You need
right.
at least an associate's degree, and it may even be a bachelor's at this point in time to think about taking a police officer exam. These are service providers. For all intents and purposes, you're service providers. You have people's futures in your hand. You know, we have to clean it up on some level. You know, we go into the gym, we see each other at ISA all the time. Okay? You know, we need to be more cognizant
Right.
of how we dealing with even gentlemen that are coming to watch the game. They
Right.
coming in, their hats backwards,
Right.
and
There you go.
you know,
There
and
you
they
go.
want to dialogue
Right.
so they can say that they know Tiny Morton, so that they can say they know Gary Charles, so they can say that they know Ron, and we're allowing them, and they're allowed to interact with kids.
Mike, I have two stories, and actually both these stories are involved with Ron's former players. One kid was named Dwayne Woodward. When Dwayne at the time was being recruited by Temple, because he ended up going to Boston College, and John Chaney came in. John Chaney said, "What do you want to be?" And he said, "I want to become a businessman one day like Gary Charles. I want to get dressed the way Gary Charles." And at that point, I'm like, wow. And that's one of my most proudest moments at the time, because I was affecting them in a positive way because of the way I was, present myself on a regular basis. The other story was another one of his players, Rafe Austin. Rafe Austin has been coaching our program for the last couple of years, and Rafe has been doing a heck of a job. Now, even if he didn't put his finance in the program, the fact that he was giving up himself,
Right,
he comes
right.
in.
It doesn't always have to be
It
finances.
doesn't have to be finance. He comes in and he speaks to the kid, and he's speaking from the heart. And he tells the kid, look, I was one of those kids that was in the street, okay, doing the wrong thing. And he helped me get out of there, along with Ron LeClario, and try to do the right thing. So I'm giving you myself, I'm teaching you, I'm trying to tell you what happened. As I said to the guy, if you can't listen to this man who's been through it all, then I don't know what else to tell you. Because he's been through it all. And I think that's what we have to start doing. Start putting people like that around these kids. People who have lived through it and been through it. Okay, that's what we have to do. And I think your idea is a tremendous idea about the whole education standpoint.
Well, you have to. And again, not to drag the program that I started, but we were very strategic about our approach. And one of the things that I was very careful about, and that's why I didn't get to know you guys until later on, because I felt that in order for us to have any success, we have to deal from within.
Right.
Get our ship in order first, okay? Because I felt like once, outside elements would have different influences, then we have nothing, in terms of trying to achieve our goals, okay? But one of the principal criterias at that time that Team Next was formed is that if a kid looked to the right or to the left, there was a role model. That was very important to me. And we had accomplished that goal in a big time way. We had, and not to put these type of people on any type of plateau. I think you guys are intelligent to know that I'm not trying to do that. But, if you look to the right, we had a politician involved. If you look to the left, he was a detective with Nassau. You looked here, he was a teacher. You look back there, he was an accountant or what have you. But that was important, to us. And it was a criteria that I had established. And with that, we knew that our kids were going to get positive reinforcement no matter where city we were in, no matter who couldn't come, parents felt safe, and again, you start small, but the kids are doing great now.
Well, kids, if you put them in a setting where they're around positive people, there's a good chance that positive's going to happen. If you put people around negative people, it's like if you see a person with 9 lunatics, you don't know this person. The odds are you're going to think that kid's a lunatic. If you see a kid with 9 losers, you don't know the kid. He's first time you see him. The odds are you're going to associate him. If you see a kid, with 90 students in a high school and you don't know who that kid is, you're just naturally going to think the kid has a 90 average for who he's associating with. That's just the way it is.
And that's where we're trying to go. How many people know that these two gentlemen are educated? How many people even know that you're a teacher? How many people know that you work on Wall Street? You understand?
I
mean, there's people that know you in the business that know that.
You make a good point, because sometimes we got a phone call, like last week we played at ISA, and people are like, where are you, man? You just want to say, I'm working. You're working.
How many people know that Clario's not crazy?
No, everybody knows you're crazy, because that's different.
A lot of people don't even know you teach.
They don't even know I got a master's degree, huh?
They don't
Right,
even know
they
you
don't
have
know
a
he has a
master's degree.
And that's a great statement
Yeah.
because it's got to a point where people are thinking
had
that
it for 10
grassroots
years
basketball
now.
coaches are just guys just coming off the street. They have no idea, okay, that we're professional people. Okay, with the education.
You guys are gonna have to step up more for the kids,
Absolutely.
and that's real talk. You know, or it's gonna be another generation lost. If we can help them through rap music, you help them through rap music. If you can help them in law school, you help them in law school. We're involved in basketball. Let's help them through basketball.
Right.
But you have to let what we do and what you do professionally also spill over. We have to be more forceful and more cognate, you know, of our interactions in public. You know, because we're more accepting to people in conversations because they're basketball people when we know we wouldn't want them around the kids.
It's amazing, Mike, just listening to you, because as I said, because I'm in the computer business, everything with us is every action is a reaction, those type of things. And for example, I have one of my coaches is a cop, Marlon Bottoms. Still, not only he got his master's at St. John, and
People don't even know this.
People don't even know these things. That Nate Cadigan has a degree, and he's working in the air traffic situation, right? And because of that, they don't recruit like other people. And people say, well, your program is not the way they used to be. All right? I said, yeah, well, because these guys have regular jobs. They're busy. They can't go out there. So other people go out there and go get other guys to go recruit. But these guys they don't even have a 4-hour job. Okay, so
exactly.
it's one of
They
these.
have all day.
They have all day.
I know guys who are not working and just stay on the phone all day,
All day.
messing with kids.
And I'm saying,
That's the problem with grassroots basketball.
Yeah, I'm like-
It's easy entry and easy exit.
But
So whenever you have a
have-
problem with easy entry and easy exit,
Yeah.
you have all kinds of characters.
But you guys are power brokers in New York. Let's start here. New York and LA, and no disrespect to any other city, tends to be trendsetters.
You know what the NCAA said? They said, yeah, we're waiting to see just exactly what happens in New York. That's exactly what they said to me.
But
They
you
said,
guys can do it.
Right.
You know, we can all do it. You know, you can change the trend. You can set standards. You know, and I encourage that. Or else we all lose. Because as I mentioned earlier, you know, you give me 10 grassroots basketball players, and I'll point out 9 of them who think they're going to the league.
Absolutely.
And we have to prepare these kids for reality. You know, and we have to situate them and help articulate to them that there's more to life. Life is about odds. You play against the odds, you lose.
Yeah.
The odds aren't great
No, the odds you have.
of kids in New York or any state making the pros. You take the 2008 class alone. Where we got thousands of kids from Milwaukee to LA to Seattle, Washington. 3 or 4 of them are going to make pros.
So overseas.
To overseas. You're probably going to have 3 or 4 of them are going to make the league. Is that reality
That's
or
reality.
3 or 4?
That's reality.
And we probably, if we had to say the number that are actually playing right now, just in 2008, we're not going to talk about 9, 10, 11, you know, just in 2008, and we won't even talk about overseas, you know. We're talking about in hundred thousands possibly.
Well, unfortunately, you know, I would never tell a kid not to set your goals high and reach for the stars, but you have to have a second fallback plan.
You're
a third
dealing with
fallback plan.
sports.
I know, but unfortunately,
You
have to right
we
now.
I
know.
think you have to deal with
Yeah,
reality,
you
though.
have to
Reality
deal with
now.
reality.
Oh, the reality.
If the
the
kid
reality
tells
is,
me, if a kid comes to me and tells me he wants to be an attorney, okay,
the reality is that can happen.
that can possibly happen.
That can happen.
That if he wants to be an accountant, that's wide open. The NBA is not wide
Hey, Ron,
open.
I have no problem when I tell a kid, look, I'm not having the same conversation with you that I would have with Lamar Odom. I can't. That's reality. I always try
It's
to keep that
reality.
real. We have a play right now. He's being recruited by X amount of schools, right? And one of the schools is being recruited by Ivy League. And I said, go to Ivy League, because one day you'll be everybody's boss. And that's reality.
They don't realize
They
the
don't
value
realize.
of an Ivy League
They don't
education.
understand that education. Go and take that job.
Again, it's the culture. As we mentioned, it's hundreds of thousands just in the 2008 class, hundreds of thousands in the 2009 class, hundreds of thousands in the 10 and 11 class. We're just going to deal with high school now. That turns into millions of kids who think they're going to make pros, and if we do all the classes, it's probably 10 or 12 that's going to be in the league.
That's right.